All right. Hello, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of Scott Sports 101. I'm Scott Trella. We got Browns. We got to talk about training camp and the Hall of Fame game, which is next Thursday. Uh, and we're gonna talk some Guardians, and we'll get to all that. But first, here is today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. It's a Major League Baseball trivia question. Which player batted in a franchise record 165 runs in 1999? I will have the answer later in the podcast. Um, to the We're gonna start with the Guardians. What we're gonna do? We'll do that first, uh, and the National League beat the American League in the All Star game for the first time in 9 years, 3-2, just 3 weeks ago at Mobile Park in Seattle, Washington. So, but it was low ratings for that game. So I'm not going to mention that because it's already been. But now we'll get to the Guardians. We're going to talk about them. And after taking 2 out of 3 off the Kansas City Royals and winning the first game of the White Sox tonight, the bats went silent as the Guardians were shut out by the White Sox 3-0 tonight at Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago, Illinois. Xavier Curry was on the hill for the good guys. He went 3 innings, gave up 2 runs, gave up 2 hits, 1 earned run, had 3 beans at bat, and struck out no batters. Then Danny Morris came on. I think that's Daniel Morris, excuse me, who was brought up from AAA. He came on. Daniel Morris. Hold on a minute. Daniel Morris came on. The bullpen took over, and Daniel Morris came on. He gave up 2 hits, 1 earned run, had 1 beat at bat, struck out 3 batters. And then Nick Sandlin came on. And I think that was in the 8th inning because Morris went. Actually, no, it was in the 2-1, 2-1. So he came on in the 6th. He came on, and then it was Michael Kelly came on in the 8th and 9th innings. Actually, was on. He came on in the he won the 6th, and then he did the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings. And Michael Kelly gave up 2 runs, 2 hits, excuse me, 1 earned run. Had 1 beat at bat, struck out 1 batter, but the bullpen just could not get the job done. And I'm going to give you the key moments of this game. And uh, so I'm going to give you the key moments to this game. Top of the first, Josh Bell grounds out into a double play. Second baseman Zach Remillard, uh, Remillard to shortstop. Tim Anderson to first baseman Gavin Sheets. Josh Naylor out at second. Josh Bell out at first, and it was scoreless in the top of the first. Then the bottom of the first, Lewis Robert Jr. homers on a fly ball to center field, and it was 1-0 Chicago. And then in the bottom of the sixth, Jake Berger homers on a fly ball to center field, and it was 2-0 Chicago. And top of the seventh, Oscar Gonzalez grounds into a double play. Shortstop Tim Anderson to second baseman Zach Remillard to first baseman Gavin Sheets. Will Brown out at second, Oscar Gonzalez out at first, and it was still 2-0 Seattle. On the bottom of the eighth, Oscar Cole singles on a line drive to left fielder Stephen Kwan. Elvis Andreas scores and Gavin Sheets to second, and it was 3-0 Chicago. And the Guardians just went 1, 2, 3 in the ninth, and and it was Tristan that got lose it. He gets to as the Xavier Curry takes the loss. He falls 3-1, and Todd Smith goes to 1-3. He gets the win, and De Los Santos he tried to save but couldn't do it. But DeSantis for Chicago got it to save, and so the Indians now 52-52 in second place in the American League Central. They are still at 500. I think they are, I think, 2.5 games in back of the Minnesota Twins. And they have one more game. They have another game with Chicago tomorrow at 7:10. And they will try to make it. I think this is it's a 4-game series. So they will, yeah, it's a 4-game series. They will try to make it 2 in a row over Chicago tomorrow. And the first pitch will be at 7:10 on Bally Sports, Ohio. And I wanted to mention one more thing. There was a little bit of breaking news. The Guardians have traded uh, Amen Rosario to the Los Angeles Dodgers for uh, Noah Syndergaard. Uh, he is hoping to make a fresh start with the Guardians, and he joined the Guardians yesterday in time for so Syndergaard said his time with the Dodgers didn't really go as planned. I didn't really blossom into the pitcher I wanted to be, he said, but maybe just a fresh start with the Guardians is really all I need to bounce back and just start fresh. And Syndergaard signed a 1-year deal with the Dodgers before the season and posted a 7.16 ERA and 12 starts, being sidelined by a blister. He is expected to make his first start for the Guardians on Monday. So we will see what he does on Monday. So I wanted to share that with you, and we will get to the Browns in just a moment. But right now, it is time to reveal the answer to today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. And which player batted in a franchise record 165 runs in 1999? And if you said Manny Ramirez, you are correct. Manny Ramirez was a 9-time Silver Slugger and was one of 27 players to hit 500 career home runs. His 21 Grand Slams are third all time, and his 29 postseason home runs are the most in MLB history. So I now have another trivia question on my next podcast. So stay tuned for that. Now we're going to get to the Browns. We're going to do that. The Browns just last week, I will share with you right now, last week announced that they have released defensive end Perion Winfrey, who the Fox 8i team learned is under police investigation. The Fox 8i team has learned Cleveland police are investigating Browns defensive lineman Perion Winfrey after a woman reported he threatened her and he had a gun. The incident happened Tuesday evening at East 9th and Euclid. We've learned 2 women told police they know Winfrey saw him in a hotel lobby and one yelled on an insult to him when he did not respond. They say Winfrey became angry, making a threat and showing he had a gun. According to the police report, the women say they have some of the encounter recorded on cell phone video. Winfrey had left the scene before police arrived. They did not arrest him. He has not been charged. The matter has been referred to for investigation. We've reached out to Cleveland Police for more information. The I team also contacted the Browns to discuss the matter, but uh, have not yet received a response. However, around 10 a.m. Wednesday, they released this information. The Browns have waived defensive tackle Perrion Winfrey, who was also a lineman as well. Winfrey appeared in 13 games as a rookie last season and recorded 22 tackles and half a sack just 2 weeks ago. Winfrey reported he was the victim of an armed robbery downtown after a group of men with guns got out of a vehicle. Winfrey plays defensive tackle and was drafted by the Browns in 2022. Training camp got underway at the end of last week, 1 week ago, and in West Virginia. The Browns did well and accomplished a lot in day one of training camp, and now they had day two of training camp last Saturday. And here's the Browns' day two training camp report. One, adapting the offense for Watson. When a quarterback is comfortable with their play, they typically make it work. Those were the words from head coach Kevin Stefanski before the start of day two of Browns training camp. Speaking in reference to QB Deshaun Watson having an influence on the team's offense, it's an obvious thing that modern day coaches without eggs should do work with your quarterback, adapt it to its strengths and input. Now here's number two. That was number two. Getting the drills. Getting the drills started. Positional groups were beginning their typical training camp drills on Sunday. It was on Sunday, not last Saturday, excuse me. As you can see, the defensive line working on getting off the ball, which is very important to do that very quickly, of interest to me and all the Browns fans, is the fact that the team appears to be using white helmets for training camp. Not exactly the helmets they'll use this season, but a white helmet nonetheless. Speaking of the defensive line, Jared Mueller had some insight to the players' roles based on their legitimate. Number three, linebackers returned to drills. We know they were close yesterday and today. Linebacker Anthony Walker and linebacker Sahon Tahaki, both of whom are coming off injuries, participated in individual drills as at camp. That's a nice sign that they should be ready for action by the time the regular season starts. Walker got off to a hot start in 2022 before his injury, and Tahaki was just starting to break out before suffering an injury of his own. The two linebackers went back to the rehab area once team drills started, excuse me. Number four, DeJuan Jones out with an illness. Rookie offensive tackle DeJuan Jones was missing from the start of practice, and it was later noted that he was out with an illness. Per Zach Jackson of The Athletic, Jones was lining up as the second team left tackle during walkthroughs on Saturday, and this was workouts on Saturday. Number five, going deep for DPJ, and it's nice to see a bit of football, right? Even though the defensive isn't on the field here. There is a clip of quarterback Deshaun Watson hitting wide receiver Donovan Peoples-Jones on the corner uh, to the end zone. Now, number 6 is the post-practice conditioning. One of the most painful conditioning drills most football players did back in high school were high knee drills and related drills. So seeing this clip below of players doing this after practice makes me uh, wince a bit. Yeah, wince a bit. On the same note, I often think to myself, man, if I ever try to get back on in great conditioning shape, I'd love to see the effects of working in the high knees. I don't uh, recall seeing this drill in camp before. Now, Chubb supports number 7 is Chubb supports his running backs. Uh, there is a story going in an NFL right now with running backs across the league not seeming to be valued as much in terms of contracts. Running back Nick Chubb stands beside his fellow running backs across the league and knows that he could be in that situation when his contract is up. Chubb also has praise for running back Jerome Ford, using words like fast, smooth, and special to describe him. And number 8, Brownies wide receiver Amari Cooper left practice early due to a minor tweak and is day to day, and that was in day two. Linebacker Tony Fields returned to practice after missing yesterday due to a funeral. After practice, quarterback Deshaun Watson said that he is in a better place now, and that last year's therapy really helped him. GM Andrew Berry also talked to the media after practice. Now, and they accomplished a lot in day 4, and they really worked on a lot. And Stefanski has liked what he's seen so far, and he also liked what he saw in day 5 of training camp. And and uh, and I'm going to tell you what happened in day 5 of training camp right now. I'm going to tell you. One Sulphur Springs, West Virginia, is where this training camp is taking place. Here's day 5 of training camp. Uh, Day 5 of Browns training camp brought Anthony Schwartz hamstring practicing for the first time. Injury updates on Amari Cooper and Matt Adams and interviews with Anthony Walker Jr., Elijah Moore, and Martin Emerson Jr. Schwartz was activated off the non-football injury list and saw his first action of camp. It's good news for him and the Browns because fellow world-class speedster Marquise Goodwin is sidelined indefinitely with blood clots, and the Browns need a deep threat to stretch the defense. And that defense is the biggest concern right now. Unfortunately, the Browns, Cooper will remain out for a few more days, but he did return today. And I'll get to that momentarily. Remain out for a few more days and only participated in walkthrough on day 1 before suffering a minor tweak. The good news is that it's not serious, and Cooper should be back soon. Most of the Browns veterans won't play in the Hall of Fame game against the Jets on next Thursday, August 3rd. So Cooper will have some extra time to heal. And here's more of what you need to know from day 5. Elijah Moore meets the press. Moore talked to Cleveland.com one-on-one on Tuesday and answered for the first time if he told former Jets coordinator Mike LaFleur to go F himself, but he conducted a podium interview at camp on Thursday and expressed the happiness to be here. And he said, it feels good, Moore says. It feels good to be wanted. I feel that every single day I am on the field and in the building ever since I got here. as I got here. So I can't do nothing but thank God. Like I said before. Excuse me. It's a true blessing. More explain that playing prep football, uh, hotbed of South Florida, he learned to be versatile and cannot wait to show it off here. I'm super excited, he said. I feel like I'm growing up in Florida. We don't coach to play slot outside or inside. You coach to play receiver. So it doesn't really matter where I lined up. Uh, I feel I feel like I'm kind of comfortable wherever they need me to be, and just wherever it's that they need me, whatever it is that they need me to do. Excuse me. Uh, I'm going to work on my hardest. Uh, I'm going to work my hardest to get there to get it done. Excuse me. So I am not uh, good at it right now. I'm going to keep working every single day to get better at it to where it becomes one of my favorite things to do. Acquired in a trade with the Jets in March, Moore has been the best receiver in camp so far. When leaders Cooper and Marquise Goodwin are out, somebody has to step up, and I feel like the whole group, not just me, is doing that. Moore said, "We're all being uh, detailed. We're all talking to each other. We're all coaching each other up. They were out there helping us as well. So I feel like either way, you can't blink. You know, you know, you know, got to keep stepping. Now, here's Martin Emerson Jr. got he grabbed a pick six. Emerson grabbed a red zone pick six off of Deshaun Watson, pass intended for Jalen Darden, and is having an excellent camp. Just reading my keys, Emerson said he was in the red zone. You get a straight stem. Oops, excuse me, I'm having a little technical problem here. Uh, you get a he said you get you get a straight stem right here. It's usually a dig, but he didn't press my leverage, excuse me. So he didn't try to run past me, try to get underneath me. So I just stayed square, and when he tried to cross my face, I just and broke, and then the ball was right there. Uh, Emerson, heading into his second season, doesn't mind being tested. Oh yeah, I'm going to be a competitor, the ultimate competitor. So I love when a quarterback is targeting me, just keeping me honest, keeping me focused, and keeping me ready. And I just want to do my part in order to help the team win, he said. Uh, so doing my job is the main goal. I love when the quarterback targets me. And a walk opens up. Here's Anthony Walker Jr. elaborated on his recovery from a torn quad. Surgery being harder than expected, he suffered the injury in week against the Steelers amidst the final 14 games. For me, I didn't think I'd be able to ride a bike again after I had surgery, he said. My first time having done something like that, it was scary, and I'm not going to lie to you. You can't do anything. I've been playing football and walking around normal for 20 some odd years, and then one day you woke up and you need help to do everything. So taking it one day at a time, every step has been a blessing. Riding a bike again to walk normal without crutches, and then running and all that stuff. So I don't take any of that for granted. Limited in camp, he acknowledged I don't want to rush the process, which is a good thing. Uh, but obviously, uh, hope speeds up a little bit. Um, uh, he said he discovered he has a great football family here, but my family here, the team, my teammates here, obviously had the great relationship with Jacoby Brissett, and he was with there, he was there with me every step of the way. But also a lot of guys here, JOK, uh, Jack Deshaun Watson, Deshaun, all those guys, man, they were just there for me the whole time, keeping my spirits up throughout the whole process, he said. So I appreciate those guys. And I think for myself, I always thought I was a little tough minded, but I realized a little bit more just going through that injury and fighting back so I can overcome. So I can overcome. So I do appreciate that, he says. Comings and goings. Linebacker Jacob Phillips left practice early, but should be fine. Receiver Michael Hartley Jr. also left early and may have checked for a concussion after getting a hit in the head. Linebacker Matt Adams signed as a free agent in the offseason, suffered a calf injury on Tuesday, and he will be out a couple of weeks. Kevin Stefanski said he wore a walking boot on Thursday. Uh, and that is what happened in day 5 of training camp. Amari Cooper returned to training camp today, which was good, but he took it slow, and so he did return today to training camp, Amari Cooper. And and they really accomplished a lot. They really worked on, they did not work on it just, but they brought the pads in, and they're going to be putting those on tomorrow. And next Thursday, August 3rd, the Hall of Fame game kicks off the preseason. The Browns will face the New York Jets at Tom Benson Stadium. It's Tom Benson. Uh, Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium in Akron. Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium in Canton, Ohio. Excuse me. Uh, and the game will air on NBC. Uh, they will air it on NBC, I believe. I'm trying to. Yeah, well, 8 p.m. on NBC, so you can see it on Channel 3, which is NBC. Uh, and I think it will air on one of the local stations too. So I'll let you know. But hopefully, this will kick off the preseason. And as you know, these games will not count because it's only the preseason. But it will be dress rehearsals for the regular season. Well, that's just about going to wrap it up for this edition of Scott Sports 101. And I'll be back with another podcast. I will have a Hall of Fame game podcast next Thursday. Hopefully, before then, I'll be back with another podcast. But until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day in every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1. I'm done.